Alright, this is Calibos, and this is Beyond the Skies. Actually, second attempt at this one. We'll see what happens. So, I moved stuff. It's over here. So, all this dirt, you'll probably noticed a while ago that I no longer had a barrels. I'm not actually sure what happened to my barrels. I've got the one there. But what I've been doing is, and there's a Rod of the Lands. I also call it Dirt Stick. And it uses the mana that I'm carrying. It makes dirt, which is very handy and a lot faster than trying to compost it. There's also one for cobblestone and a couple of other things, so that's not cool. So also I have expanded that area with stone. Basically it's a matter of just farming the trees for charcoal, stuff like that. I've got a mana battery set up. I'm planning on making sparks in the future, so that these will all fill on their own, and then stuff will draw from them immediately on its own. It all comes from down here, which there's a long line of these things. And here's the deal. Boom. Arslimus. So this eats the slimes. Mostly it eats the slimes. I'm probably going to have to get some mana lenses on these things to make them go faster. Oh my god, these guys are so annoying. To make these go faster. The other option would be to make them close together. But, I'll just have to add more steps in between. So, yeah, and it just goes all the way up. It's pretty simple. Collection point is basically going to be here. And then I have this area for, notice it's basically full. Which way is it going? So, that's shift right click to change whether it's charging or filling the pool. I honestly don't need it full. I think each tablet effectively holds like 1,000 or something like that. I forget exactly. And it takes 1 to make a dirt. I mean, there's numbers behind everything, but I don't know what they all are. Oh, look, an emerald chestplate. What are the uses? Can we grind this down? Nope, it's just a chestplate. Sweet. Look at how I match. So I've moved all of this over. My next goal is to move these basic drawers. I probably will want to make a dolly of some sort. Okay, maybe there's no dollies. Maybe I'll have to use packing tape. Packing tape's fairly simple to build. It's just paper and slime balls. And we have paper and we have slime. Lots of slime. Infinite amounts of slime. I'll give you a quick idea how this works. Packing tape. Pop this up. Because their contents are different, they do not stack. Oh, job's done. So one of my goals is going to be So the amount of mana that I'm producing is actually fairly slow. It does produce it consistently though, so that's something anyway. This will help. The runic altar is going to be left right here because this mana spreader is drawing from both. So even if this one gets behind, I should be able to make all of the runes that I need and whatever you can make on the runic altar. Some packs actually have recipes where you can make other things. Fairly easily. I'll probably put the Elven Gateway over here. And I'm not sure exactly how I want to accomplish it. But what I would like to do is set up the Gaia fight area over here, so I can just run mana over. Because I'm not interested in like fighting everybody if I don't have to. So if I can, optimally I would like to set it up so that I can have Botania flowers to help me deal with the hordes of whatever, and pick up all my stuff and sort it and things like that. But that's a long way off, and I plan to do a bunch of other things before we get to fighting the Gaia Guardian. I know a little bit about the new blood magic. I'm more comfortable with the previous versions. So we'll see what we can do about that. I'm not so great with like the alchemy aspects of it. So I mean, we'll have to see how that goes, because just making the blood altars, and I typically make 3. It's just going to be a huge endeavor. I'm not sure exactly how I want to set that up yet, but it will be part of my my mob grinding setup. So we'll see. In order to do there's a ritual called the Well of Suffering. And if you put that near a blood altar, it will kill any mob, within its area using a little bit of blood from your blood magic pool. Which is basically like blood Wi-Fi. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it. And then it puts, it uses the blood that it, from the people that you kill, or the mobs that you kill, and puts it back into that altar nearby. And so if you have a good altar set up, with runes of sacrifice and stuff like that, it actually will generate quite a lot of blood. And what I typically do is I will pump that to 2 different altars, one of which is set up to have like a orbs and stuff, a blood orb to absorb power, and a crafting altar. So yeah, once I get going, it'll be easy, but the first part of blood magic is always super grindy for me because of the way that I do it. So we'll see how that goes. If I can set up something that gives me regeneration, like a nano beacon or something on the way, it will speed it up immensely. But we'll see how that ends up. Meanwhile, I keep forgetting there's a quest book for this. So we've got redstone. Iron ingots. Oh no, we've had all of these. So 6, 50, 21. So if you do this correctly, it actually it gives you quite a lot of what the next ones are. Wonder what that's supposed to do. So we'll see how we want to do this. We also need to make a compressed sieve to make this one happy. This one wants an iron stiffened mesh, and this is probably a diamond stiffened mesh. It wants each of the hammers and stuff like that. You can make a wood jetpack. That's glorious. So there's also this progression. So you guys have all seen how to sieve. You've all seen, Botania, how Botania does stuff with rock explosions and exciting and glorious stuff like that. So let's look into this. Now I'm gonna. Why is it not showing me the quest book? There we go. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm not as worried, or as I don't enjoy the I don't enjoy sky resources quite as much. There are definitely mods that I enjoy more than that. So we will grab this. Let's get some wood really quick. One of the other things that I'll do is I'll probably get into chickens as well. But I may not, depending on how the chicken mod is currently set up, I may not worry about progressing too far in it, because it's super handy and grindy, the way it was, but the mod maker decided that it was too easy, and so they made it harder. Well, and I say harder, but it's not really harder. It's just more grindy. So let's do this. Did I mention to you guys that you can't breathe in a straight line anymore? You have to 335. Okay. You have to let's get rid of these. Alright, excellent. So we want cuttings here. Take our cuttings, which have gone somewhere. There they are. All right. So when those grow up, we will get the next ones. Pop this in here. So these are 224s. These are 336s. So this method does work, and it's marginally faster than, oh shoot. Yeah. I think I have just ruined my life. Oh, I think I did, because when you plant them, they become regular pumpkin seeds. So we'll have to do this again. That's garbage now. I didn't really ruin my life. But yeah, so this is kind of what I have been doing with my time at this point. It's not super exciting, but it is making me progress. I would like to basically go through and have all of the agricraft stuff, because it just, I don't know, I guess I don't really need to. So, looking at our quest book, casings, we were looking at trees. One of these. That gives us a casing. Now, the casing is pretty much useless on its own, unless we also make a, what are they called? Combustion heater, which requires this. So, there. I think my only regret about the Sky Resources is I really wish that the recipes were nesting. So for example, the stone one, I wish that it required like the wood one, so you could just work your way up the chain, at least until like iron or something like that. I mean, I don't know. So in Sky Resources, this is how you make a furnace. Like they usually have the vanilla furnace disabled. So we'll do this, pop that out, and now we have that. So the way this setup works, and I'm not super great at, excuse me, I'm not super great at it, is you have the casing, you have the combustion heater. Now you'll notice that it wants a multi-block. From what I recall, we'll do this. What we're actually trying to accomplish is, you notice that it's got the, like the black dots on the top. It actually wants you to do something along the lines of this. And it's got to be hollow. So one of the cool things about this mod is it's actually fairly flexible as far as things go. So this works as a multi-block. It's a valid multi-block. But I seem to recall that, is it, no, maybe it's like this. Oops, made two. Maybe, is it because it counts as open? I know there was a way to do it like this. It's been a while. Like I said, I'm not super fond of this one because it is very grindy. So, valid multi-block. There you go. I really wish that trapdoors could be placed horizontally. That would be the coolest thing in the history of trapdoors. So the other thing that this setup needs is a button. Pop the button on the side, and there you go. So this is a valid multi-block. Since I have the trapdoors, I might as well use them. So you pop stuff in there. Pop stuff in there and do the thing. So for example, let's take some sticks, because I have a lot, and we'll take some gunpowder. So this requires fuel, and this is how much fuel is in there, heat units. So if I come into the top and I open this and I drop a, we'll just say a single piece of gunpowder in here, notice because the top was open, it escapes. So we do some of this, drop in some more fuel, minor explosion, and boom, we have blaze powder. And more blaze powder. So that is how this works. As you go up in, I think I've got some here. So as you go up in quality, so this one has a speed of 40% and an efficiency of 50%. This has a speed of 80 and efficiency of 100%. This produces slightly more heat, etc. If you look at the heat units a tick, that might be usage. But as we go up different ones, you'll find that they have better speed, better efficiency, depending on which one. Efficiency is how much of the resource that it takes to do the job. So, and it won't matter as much in some of the basic recipes like converting. If we wanted to use a different one. Maybe it just needs cobble. Alright, so yeah, and much like the wooden one, we'd set it up in just about exactly the same way. So wood, stone, pop the combustion heater. Now, you can simply shift right-click to pull those out if you want to. The downside of upgrading to the stone ones is you'll recall that we have the trapdoor on that one. I do not believe that there is anything that will allow us to do the trapdoor thing for this one. Because the materials have to be stone. So I'll usually drop in from the top on this one. On this one, I'm just going to throw it in from the side. And I usually will leave that one there. Let's not make a stone button because I won't always be able to see it. The quality of the button doesn't matter. So it pretty much works the same way. If we put some fuel in it, a random flammable thing. Let's see. So do that, close it up. It's a valid multi-block. Throw in some fuel, hit the button, and more blaze powder. So that's how these work. So they're pretty cool. They allow conversions, and the mod's not bad. Where I become frustrated is the condensers. 85% is weird, and I kind of expected it to be like a beanstalk or something, but I don't know. Guess it can do its own thing. Slime balls. So the condenser is actually, yeah. So condensing is the way to make ores with sky resources. Man, if I'd looked at this, we could have done really cool. So, condenser. It wants that. So I think we've got some powder somewhere in here. I just had it. Oh my gosh. I am very impressive. Like, I just lost them. I guess you guys are all jealous about my ability to put something down and lose it immediately. Well, anyway, wherever I ended up putting it, we're gonna probably just call it here for right now. It's 27 minutes. We're approximately 28 minutes now. We're 8 minutes over where I said that I was going to stop. I'm pretty much going to start grinding out some ores and resources like that. I'll get into how to use the condenser later. It's kind of a bit of a workup. And like I said, I'm not super fond of it, so I'm not great. So I guess I'll catch you later. If you liked the episode, leave a like. If you don't like it, don't leave a like. You know, I'm not honestly bothered one way or the other. If you have any tips, tricks, or concerns, you can leave those below. If you think I could be doing something better, you're probably right. Go ahead and leave that below too. So I will catch you guys later. Thanks for coming. Have a good night.